Welcome to Coffee Hour number 2. This is my last video for tonight. So again, due to the fact that I'm not exactly sure what day exactly is Indigenous People Day, so I want to talk to y'all about that. And I will be making another video later tonight, but not for Instagram, but for Coffee Hour number 2. You guys can feel free to go by there in the morning and check out my video. Indigenous Day. So, let's start with Native American rights. Native Americans did not gain their rights as American citizens until 1924. I want you to soak that in for a minute. 1924. Although you were born, bred, and raised in a country that would no longer be yours, and damn near 200 years later, you still wouldn't have rights until 1924. They forced you to cut your hair. They forced you to live on worthless ground, which we cultivated and made spiritual. We turned dirt into foundation that would create sovereignty and livelihood that would last us for a very long time. Some folks left the reservation to join the indoctrination of society of the pale-faced man. Threw that in there for y'all, the white people, amongst the slaves, amongst the immigrants. But yet you still didn't really get holidays. They put statues of you and make you kneel behind people when you were the ones leading the way. They put statues of people bearing down weapons, and they call Geronimo a villain, when Geronimo was a hero to the Apache. They call Cochise the one who inspired the villain. They call Sitting Bull a villain. But Custard was no match. Indigenous Day, I'm not saying this to spark a generation of revolt, because revolt gets us nowhere. I'm saying this for understanding how a place that was ours before any other man came amongst this great land. Though we fought each other for territory and women and buffalo and other food sources, we were all united by the Trail of Tears, where Cherokee, Creek, Ojibwa, Powhatan, Seminole, Manhattan Indians, Apache, Navajo, Cheyenne, God damn it, Sioux, Hopi, and thousands of others were forced into relocation, reallocation, re-education, identities stolen, last names taken, language destroyed, elders barely taken care of, given non-native diseases, plagues, tribes destroyed, lives upended. The tears still fall to this day. But in the end, they still stand. Indigenous man. And one day we'll again own the land. That was a messed up ass poetry, more like a haiku. But facts stated inside the poetry was meant for you. So, let's talk about 1924. My great-grandmother, Ada Wallace Ford, was born somewhere amongst that, on my father's side. She's more of what I know versus what I know on my mom's side. Ada Wallace Ford and her daughter, Clara Bay, left the Powhite Reservation one day. Now, when I did my research, they don't mark my grandmother's mother as Native American. They had her marked down as mulatto. This word is very important. It is something that you should remember, because mulatto does not mean Native American. But it was the name that they gave the people because they didn't want to call them Indians or Native or by distinct tribes. So on her life and death certificate it says mulatto, but she was full-blooded Cherokee from the Powhite Reservation. Still doing my research. So that being said, you have to think about a place where people who who no longer had rights on a land that they cultivated, who no longer had rights on a place in which they lived, where people indoctrinated them and made them third-hand citizens. At one point in time, you could say that blacks and immigrants had more rights than Native Americans, although the truth be told, none of them had rights at all, not the blacks or the immigrants, until voting rights came up. But prior to 1924, Native Americans had no rights at all. At all. So they were just as bad off as everyone else. But it was worse, because the land that we hold so dear, the land that we fight for, the land that we fight over, the land where it is okay to have hate speech, because it's your God-given right to say whatever the hell you want, at any direction that you want, was taken from a proud people. People who deserve better. People who have sovereign nations, but still have to follow rules that was laid down, treaties that was broken. I hail the asshats at Standing Rock that decided you guys don't deserve your land, as if we haven't taken enough from the native man. I want you guys to think about this stuff, and I want you to go back to 1929, and if you could tell any Native American person anything at all, the only thing that should come out of your mouth is, I'm sorry. Thanks for watching. Go and celebrate Indigenous Day.